Hello, this is Sonic Unleashed. I don't know what part it is.
Part 3.
How do I open Sonic?
Go to the documents. Go down. Everyone's showing you this stuff. Go to Z.
Yeah.
Look for Unleashed, the folder at the bottom.
Please don't show any of this, editor.
You shouldn't be showing any of this, editor. Go to Unleashed.
Corey, your
points to a random spot on the screen you can't see.
Next to F launcher, you can definitely see that.
There you go.
And then click Unleash Mod Manager.
Yeah.
And then click Launch Sonic Unleashed. We don't have to save installed content and all that crap. Unfortunately, we missed a cutscene. The gist of it, they found Mr. Pickle.
Mr. Pickle?
Yeah, they found Mr. Pickle.
We didn't miss the one where Eggman harasses the Africans, right?
I don't know, actually.
Dave?
Yeah.
Do you remember how angry he got? And how awkward he made it?
Nope. I kinda remember it.
I think a lot of users remember how fucking awkward and angry I got.
It's okay.
This is the guy we need to talk to, by the way.
Corey, you know what? I haven't told you yet. A big surprise. All the money OneyPlays this year makes goes to therapy for you.
Good, I'm gonna need a lot of it. Especially after this one.
But Corey, it's gonna be Sissy Hypno.
I don't want to be Sissy Hypno...
Therapy?
Corey, when you get out, we'll find lots of BBC for you, Corey. Don't worry.
BBC with
We'll support your new addiction. But you'll be nicer and you won't be as mad.
You'll be less angry but more horny.
Yeah.
I'll just be filled with more cocks, but no, I'll probably still be angry.
I'll be filled with more cocks.
More cocks, less hate. See?
Wait, where?
More cocks, less hate.
Do you see Amy around here somewhere?
Yeah, there she is. Oh, she became human.
I like how they have the little flags where they're from up in their little names.
I need to find Amy. I don't know what's going on.
That's how you
here.
know to segregate them.
Aww.
I'm just talking to all these people.
I like the bully stories from this morning, Chris.
We want to talk about the bully stories?
Yeah, I like the bully stories.
Me and Dave and Corey and Nal, we went to get bagels, and for some reason Dave started talking about bullying people, and it brought up all these memories of
all
bully
these
stories.
Fun, like, heart-filled memories of bullying unsuspecting
I was saying
people.
Sometimes bullying helps you not be cringy. I hate to say it. I'm not saying bullying is right, but I'm saying
there's a right amount of it. There's an exact right amount. There's when you go too far and it gets wrong, but then there is bullying when you make someone learn to not be like Dave. Basically,
not
right?
Be like Dave.
But that's what you said. You were like going up to a guy and being spurgy, and you said that you were pushing him, going, "What?
No, that's
what
true.
What are you gonna do?
That's true.
What are you gonna do?" And then the guy was like, "I'm giving you a chance. I'm begging you.
You should explain
please
this
stop
story,
before
Dave.
this goes too far."
Yeah,
You're like, "What are you gonna do, pussy? What are you gonna do?" And then you said he picked you up and he made you upside down.
Yes,
and
yeah.
he slammed you into the tarmac, and you said that you became like crumpled trash.
Right, that's accurate. That's accurate. I was pushing some buttons. I was bothering a dude.
Yeah.
He gave me a chance. I pissed him off. He flipped me upside down in front of the whole class. And then you know what? I realized that maybe you shouldn't spur gun in people's faces.
See, honestly,
be an asshole.
that's not bullying. He was retaliating to your bullying.
I mean, I wasn't. I don't know if you call that bullying.
If
but I
you're
was
going up
definitely
to
being
someone
annoying.
and pushing them and being an asshole, that's kind of bullying.
Chris,
Yeah.
there's one story because you were talking about how you bullied your teachers.
Well, yeah, one guy deserved it. He was a prick. He was an asshole. But anyway, go on.
But I have a teacher bullied story, and it's also cringy, and it's part of me learning to not be such an idiot.
It's not like I pushed the guy around. I just put sick drawings in his pocket.
It's not really bullying. That's just
It's not so
flexing
bad.
your art
Well, okay,
skills.
I've already told this story, but one time I showed him a toy I brought into school. It was like a little slot machine. I was like, pull the slot machine, what a prize. And he like pulled it and it electrocuted him and he fell on the floor.
That's a good story.
He was a prick. Dude, if you're still alive, don't be for much longer.
Yeah, get your shit together.
Chris,
I hate teachers who don't teach. I hate them.
I have a cringy story where there was this, like, you know, you have your main classes and side classes.
Yeah.
In one of my side classes where they were teaching about, what was it? Just like home ec stuff. We had this like little teacher who wasn't that old, and she would teach us stuff. She'd be like, "All right, guys, today we're learning about enamel." And I was like, "What animals?" just pretending to be an idiot.
You're a dumb.
And she was like, no, enamels, you know, on your teeth. And I was like, there's mammals on your teeth.
You're fucking so cringy, dude.
Yeah, I know. I was being annoying. And then she was like, no. She's like, I'm talking about teeth. Now, can you be normal for 1 second? And the whole class
here it
was
is.
silent.
Sorry to interrupt your story about enamel teeth, but this is the trafficking we were talking about.
Oh no.
Dude, see, look, he's bothering the Africans.
This is wild to see.
Fear not, my good villagers. If you all behave, I won't have to do anything nasty. All you need to do is tell me where the temple...
Oh, he's really not being that much of a piece of shit.
No.
They're being the piece of shit.
Yeah, I mean, media always tries to like spread lies. And, like,
This is not painting
the robot was
Africa in a
laughing
good
at him.
light.
Dude, he literally came and said, please just help me out here.
And then Sonic shows up to be the force of all evil.
Once again, Sonic bullies.
Yeah,
No, he's helping the Africans. He's saving them.
But they attacked that nice young white man.
that's true. This kind evil scientist showed up to
Just
show the
because
World
he's
War
like
IV.
slightly unattractive.
Yeah, that's definitely it. They picked on him because he's you think Robotnik's unattractive?
No. I think he dresses a bit fruity is all.
Robotnik's newer version of him is way more better looking than his like gnarled fucking basic design that his old one used to be.
You mean his classic Eggman?
Yeah, his classic
I prefer
Eggman.
classic Eggman over his Michael Jackson jacket.
He just doesn't work in this thing.
That's fair. But anyway, Dave,
Tell your
continue your
story.
stupid
Yeah,
bully
now I
story.
sound like just so cringy. Listen. I was being an asshole. I was being a little snot.
Yeah.
And then she's telling me to shut up because I was being annoying.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole class was dead silent. And I gripped my desk and stood as stiff as possible and just fell over and knocked my whole desk over and just landed on the ground.
Yeah.
And then I remember the teacher literally just looked at me and cried
What did she cry for?
because I just was being annoying and fell over.
You made a teacher cry. You're a piece of
Yeah, I
shit.
know. That made me feel pretty bad.
I didn't make my teacher cry.
You fucking electrocuted him onto the ground.
But he like laughed and then he looked really angry and he got up and just like he pretended like nothing happened. It was really bizarre. He was like basically like, get back to work.
That's equally as bad.
No.
That's equally as... Mine's only bad because it's a girl who cried. I hope she's a pussy.
Dude, our class was like renowned for being the shittiest class in school. You know what's really fucked up is our school segregated you based on IQ, basically.
Cool.
So, they had like in our school it was 1A1, 1A2, 1A3, 1A4, and 1A5. 1A1 was like for the stupid people. 1A5 was for the insanely smart people, and in between was everybody else. I was in 1A3 because I'm an average Joe, the underdog, the most normal, likable guy you could meet. But anyway, we were like, it was kind of weird. It's like the really smart guys were like well behaved. The really dumb guys were kind of real well behaved, and then the in between guys were all like the worst. It was like really strange. It was a weird phenomenon.
So the worst rated ones, like the Hufflepuffs, were like not bad. So who would the mid be if we're talking like Harry Potter? Because that's what I was gonna say, Chris. I was what the fuck was that? I was gonna say like based on like Harry Potter rules.
Harry Potter's not based on IQ, dude.
Isn't there always like a class in Harry Potter that's just like there? That
Yeah,
just
it's Hufflepuff. People, well, yeah.
No, not the ones that are like treated like the deformed freaks they are, but the other ones.
Oh, Ravenclaw?
Yeah, like what is Ravenclaw? They just like exist. Even okay, to be fair,
I feel like in every book they always give a different description that kind of contradicts themselves, which is whatever, but yeah, I don't know.
yeah, they're just kind of the middle class because which one's the main one?
Gryffindor, that's
Yeah.
like the brave and the stupid.
Yeah, the Gryffindor is like the hero
Ravenclaw's
side.
like the smart and the witty.
But
And
it's
then
like-
Hufflepuff, and then Slytherin is like the Nazis, and then Hufflepuff is everybody else.
I know. I've
People
never
who don't
understood
belong
that.
anywhere.
I've never understood in Harry Potter. I know it's not. This is not. I
It's
don't
just
even know
a
if this is
fantasy
really
world.
that
It's not
important.
fucking real.
Yeah,
it's
but
Harry Potter.
Yeah, but Chris,
Huh?
you basically just brought that into life when you were talking about your fucking like regime in school.
That's just kind of how it felt. It's like, yeah, you're dumb. Go into dumb class, dummy.
Can I talk about going to Taekwondo and that kind of shit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you went to Taekwondo, huh?
Well, I went there originally because I needed something to do, because if I was home from school and I wasn't doing anything that was like useful to my dad at the time,
Yeah.
like working, he would force me to work. And I'm like, well, I don't want to
exactly
do...
how my dad was.
Yeah, I'm like, well, I don't want to just fucking come home from school and then immediately have to do a bunch of lugging and like moving shit. So I'm like, I guess I'll do extracurricular activities. And I went to this place and I did Taekwondo. I would have done karate, but Taekwondo was the only thing that was available.
Ding
And I
dong.
really enjoyed it because our Taekwondo teacher was really cool.
Yeah.
I was never really used to doing that kind of stuff. So, anyways, just to go ahead of it, he had this son in the Taekwondo class who was like a huge fucking like, I don't want to say like, I don't know how to explain it, but like.
It was a maroon.
He was a maroon, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like, I felt.
Shit.
God, I don't know how to explain this, but
He
it's
was
like.
a knuckle scraping fool.
Yeah, he was.
All right.
You know, we kind of
Hey Dave, why don't you do the exact same thing for the 10th time?
He also kind of looked like a fatter Gubtail.
Oh really?
Yes. And we would go out to eat.
Yeah.
And I would hang out with him, and his dad was my instructor, and he was really cool. The instructor was, and he would be really pissed off because he'd be like, "Dad, look how high I can kick." In like public places, he would do that, and I'd be like, "You probably shouldn't be like trying to kick because like you might break something in there." And his dad was like, "Yeah, you're right." But every time I would fucking do that, he'd be like, "I want to spar him. Dad, let me spar him."
What the
but
fuck?
He was a fucking red belt. He would have killed me. And he was like at the time, I was only like 14, and he was like 18.
Corey was a brown belt
No, I was like
because he shit himself.
I was a yellow belt because I peed my
That's not
pants.
clever.
I'm a white belt because I
Oh,
came.
Corey, help me, save me from this.
Dave, honestly, that was embarrassing. Like, you're never gonna live this down.
What's that?
By the
Corey's
way,
playing
Corey,
now.
I wasn't even finished my story before you rudely interrupted.
Okay, tell your
can
story.
finish.
I was saying that I was in a class of like the worst behaved kids
Rudely
ever, and there was a point one day I had the most lovely
see.
English teacher. He was like the nicest old man ever, and my class was just so shit. They made him cry, and it was like the saddest thing I've ever seen.
That's really unfortunate.
I know, he was just such a nice guy. But then there was another guy who was a science teacher. He was a real piece of shit. He used to like single out this one guy in my class who was clearly like a little troubled. He was a really nice guy though. He was troubled and I think he had a rough home life or something, but the teacher would always pick on him.
Yeah.
And then one day, the teacher was picking on him and everyone in the class basically looking around being like, well, this teacher's a piece of shit because this guy's clearly troubled and he's going through some shit and the teacher's just bullying him. And then the guy, he started shaking and his face went so fucking beet red and he was like, I hope your fucking house burns to the ground. And we were like, whoa, yeah! And everyone was like, that is so funny. And then I swear to God, shortly after the guy's house burned to the ground.
No! Shit.
And we were like,
It was kind of justified at that point.
no, but everyone was still just like, well, he was a piece of shit. He was like the meanest fucking guy ever.
Well,
And that's what you get for bullying a young, troubled man.
your house burns down with you in it.
Trying to think of other shit that happened in school.
You guys were telling the funniest fucking bully stories.
Corey, what was a good one?
You were just talking about this weird, like, deformed, push face up nerd who, like, you pretty much just would, like, it's almost like a, what do you call, like, when you, like, do something in their vicinity, you, like, freak them out and you just want to see what they do. Honestly, I did some pretty mean stuff. I had this guy's notebook once, and I was bored one day, and I didn't really think about it, and
I wipe my ass with it.
No. I drew a dick.
That would be pretty mean.
I drew a dick in every single page of his book because I was just like, it was like an animated dick. It was like singing and dancing, and then it sprayed cum at the end on itself.
Corey, you had
Okay.
too much time, but go on.
Yeah, I mean, I did. I was in like after school, like science class, but that was pretty much my bully story. It was pretty much just creative ways of drawing people and doing stuff like that. I mean, we were talking about bullying and shit. Sorry, there's like so much going on in this fucking game. It's like,
It's like the most autistic game
distracting.
ever.
yeah, it's like, what is happening? Like now I'm fighting a boss.
Corey, I got a story.
Go
Please
for
do.
it, Chris.
It's not that long, it's not that interesting, but
I'm sure it is.
I was very, very not good at learning in school, and so my parents were like, your grades ain't doing so hot, champ. Pats me on shoulder, looks me deep in eye. We want you to finish school. We want you to not be so dumb no more.
And you're
So
looking
gonna-
around like, who, me?
Actually, no, the reason they did it, my mom and dad would work till 6 because that was when their shop would close. So after school, because their shop was in town, they basically didn't want to drop me home, then drive back into town to close up the shop, and then drive home again. So they started making me do study after school, which means you just stay in school for longer and do your homework, which is like whatever, can deal with it. But one day in study, me and my friend were sitting behind this guy, and I didn't know who he was because he was in my friend's class. My friend wrote, my mommy thinks I'm cool, and stuck it on his back without him noticing.
What the fuck?
And we were like, lol, that's funny. But then my friend, he's just like, was like, oh fuck. I forgot his mom's dead.
Oh,
I was like,
that's really funny.
we have to get that off of him before he notices. And then everyone's like looking at him going, oh man, you guys are pieces of shit. We're like, no, we have to get it off now. And then thankfully we got it off. He looked around and was like, what are you guys doing? We're like, nothing. Just
You
chilling.
saved it. You saved it in the nick of time.
Yeah. Studies suck. It was so boring.
These bullying stories always have such nice happy
Yeah,
endings.
see, aren't these so charming?
That's not even a bully story. That's a silly story.
Dave, you should tell this story about like your soccer thing. That was fucking funny.
Oh yeah. So okay.
That was the best one ever. Yeah.
So I was saying sometimes you get bullied and you learn to not be cringy, and sometimes you get bullied and it just ain't damn right. There was a time where I was in soccer practice, being a good Samaritan, going outside, being outdoors, no video
That's
games.
not being a good Samaritan.
So I'm being a good.
That's being normal.
Yeah, so I'm being a good normal guy.
Yeah.
And then there's a super mean hit kid in soccer practice where one day he's a horrible piece of shit. He held me down like on top of me like a gay wad, and he pushed my arm back until it broke, and nobody believed me at first. I was all crying and shit. I'm like a small middle schooler. My arm's broken. It sucked. But then, people found out the arm's broken. We did an x-ray. The kid, I don't know if he got in trouble. His fucking crackhead parents probably didn't do shit.
Yeah.
But I got to relax. I got to skip school. I got a fucking Toys R Us gift card or some shit. It all fucking worked out.
That's on it, dude.
But
The
here's
best
the
feeling
deal.
ever is getting off of school. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I got a cast. Everybody in school signed it. But a while later, after a few months of having the cast, my parents, they sat me down one day and they were like, son, well, here's the thing. I didn't have to go to soccer practice anymore. I couldn't play soccer practice with the cast. But they sat me down and they're like, son, has anything weird happened to you? And I was like, no. They were like, did your coach ever touch you, our precious untouched gay child? And I was like, no. And they're like, oh, okay, cool. And then I found out that my bully and everybody else on the soccer team got molested because they were still playing soccer and I wasn't. So thanks to that guy breaking my arm,
so
I never got fucking child trauma molested.
That's
he
so
did.
evil, Dave.
So dude, have fun, you fucking loser.
What goes around comes
Yeah, a
around.
bunch of
comes around.
innocent kids got molested.
Okay, well that
with
sucks
him.
for them, but I mean,
That's so fucked.
I mean, to be fair,
yeah, to be fair, what's fair
the way
about
you
that's
tell
kind
it
of
is
worse than getting
funny.
your arm broken. That's worse than getting your arm
That's what
broken.
Corey said, is what goes around comes around.
Your outlook on it is funnier than the actual occurrence. It's like, yeah, I got to play cool games, but
Dude,
people got.
He spared me from being molested by breaking my arm. He saved me.
Yeah,
He's your savior.
he's probably a friend at
And
that
guess
point.
what? I got to watch Star Wars Clone Wars on DVD with the Toys R Us gift card.
That's sick.
Right? Yeah, I know.
I'm so glad they all got instead of you.
Thanks.
At the Temple of Gaia?
That's a temple of Guy.
How do we get down there? You just jump? Why is it in like the tree of Mazari? That's like the tree where Rafiki's in. Rafiki lives in the temple of Gaia.
We have to keep this in, but I really want to see that 140p video of that kid getting beaten up in your school.
Oh,
I want
man.
to see that so
I
bad.
can show you right now.
I want to see it really bad.
In my school, I was telling my friends David and Corey. I don't know if you heard of them, but I was telling them this fucking video circulated in my school because there was a guy in my year called Eddie, and he was a cool guy. And there was another guy in my year that people called but for some reason they really fucking they started hating each other, and they were always taunting each other and shit. And then one day just fucking had enough. He was like, record this, and he gave a phone to his friend, and he walked up to Eddie. Basically, he cornered him. He was a little taller than Eddie, and he cornered him in the hall, and he started pushing Eddie around, basically being like, you motherfucker, you call me names, you motherfucker. And then Eddie was like, I'm trying to get to class, and then fucking so started pushing him, and he got him in a headlock. But then Eddie he somehow just picked up and just threw him on the ground like backwards. He landed on his knees. And then they got up and they started kind of pushing each other around some more. But then it ended then it's just a bunch of scumbags in the school. And when I say scumbags, I mean just normal Irish people. They were just oh, fucking kill him, oh, fucking deadly, fucking destroy him. And
Deadly,
and then
deadly.
one guy literally was like, fucking headbutt him. And then he just headbutted, broke his nose instantly.
God.
And then you just hear a guy go, lads, that's too far. Break it up. And it's like, fuck.
I was saying one of my bad bully stories that's definitely not good is there was this small little Poindexter nerd emoji looking kid.
That one is so.
What?
Honestly, like you say, it's a bad one, but it's more just like discovering like apathy, Dave. But go ahead, tell your story.
He's a Poindexter bucktooth nerd with his index finger out. And he was walking along the floor, trying to imagine this. He's like shuffling his feet, just like not picking them up, shuffling it, hands on his backpack straps, super geeked out, like running down the hall.
Yeah.
And I just thought in my head, I was like, what would happen if I just held my foot out right now? And I just held my foot out, and he just didn't stop and hit it. Immediately, whoosh, and smacks his face onto the ground. Yeah. And then that wasn't bad enough. I remember his backpack was unzipped, so all of his papers and folders and files literally just shot out like dominoes all over his back. Like he just exploded like GTA money all out of him.
Yeah.
And I remember looking at him and I was like, that was fucked up. I shouldn't have done that.
It was so funny.
I
how
just
you
walked away.
Yeah, it was so funny you described. You just walked away.
I remember
help
looking
him up.
down. I was like, that's really bad. I should never have done that. And just walking away. I was like too ashamed to even be like, hey little guy, sorry. I was like, I'm evil. He probably doesn't want to see me. I'm just gonna run away now.
He probably didn't know it was like he probably had whiplash. Chris, do you want to try?
Yeah, sure.
Time to play Sonic?
Yeah, I love Sonic. Well.